My god, the Energon universe is firing on all cylinders right now. The latest Transformers issue was insane, and this newest issue of Void Rivals is no different. The Sacred Ring War begins, and by the end of this video, we're all going to be questioning Zerta Trion's motives. What's up everyone, James here, and we return to Void Rivals. Make sure you hit that like button. Let's get right into it. So before we get into the Sacred Ring War, we're going to cover all the scarred Skuxoid parts first in this issue. It's really not that much. So the scarred Skuxoid wakes up around all the other Skuxoids after being shocked to unconsciousness in the last video by one of Alpha Skuxoid's advanced robots. If you're confused as to how we got here and how he became Scarred Skuxoid, check out my last Void Rivals video that focused on the Scarred Skuxoid, where I recapped his entire journey in this series and where we finally learned his entire origin. I'll have a link to it at the end of the video and below the like button. In that video, I theorized that Scarred Skuxoid will get into a confrontation with Alpha Skuxoid and lead this army of Skuxoid. What happens next strengthens that theory. I feel like I just said Skuxoid like 10 times, be prepared for more. So this conversation he has is so good. He asks where he is and how he can get out. One of the Skuxoids answers, "You don't," and another answers, "They let us out for missions. Until then, we wait. Now keep it down, I'm trying to read." Scarred Skuxoid says, "I am Skuxoid. I don't wait around to be told what to do." A Skuxoid says, "We're all Skuxoid, and we do as we're told. I suggest you fall in line before they send you to the divider." Scarred Skuxoid replies, "Fall in line? This is beneath me. I've been on my own making my way in the cosmos my whole life. If this is an army, I should be the general." The Skuxoids respond, "Show us what you got then." And the Skuxoids jump Scarred Skuxoid. It's freaking hilarious and awesome. And guess what? Guess what happens? Scarred Skuxoid dominates all the other Skuxoids. And I would expect nothing less from my boy. Now, one of Alpha Skuxoid's robots brings him to Alpha, who demands he kneel before him or die. Scarred Skuxoid does end up kneeling. And Alpha says, "Excellent, now we can talk." Okay, I think one of these scenarios is going to take place in the next issue, because this is the end of Scarred Skuxoid's parts in this issue. I want you guys to comment which one you think it is. Scarred Skuxoid is either going to A, feign loyalty until he gets an opportunity to take out Alpha, B, feign loyalty until he gets an opportunity to escape, C, immediately attack Alpha during this meeting when he drops his guard. Comment below which scenario you think it is, or if you have another one. From here, we transition to Zertonia, and this is going to be nuts. Remember, in Zalilak's absence, Proximus took the Zertonian throne and declared himself the new premier. Ultim enters the throne room and informs Proximus he has a visitor, and that he knows he needs to say all his titles, but he doesn't know them because they've barely talked. Proximus's visitor is Zalilak, who says, "I have no desire to hear false titles, boy. Step away from my throne, Proximus." I was surprised to see this because I thought he would immediately go to Zalila to help her achieve unity. At least that's what I thought Zerta was going to have him do. Turns out we have no idea what she's up to. That's going to be made abundantly clear by the end of this video. Proximus says to Zalilak, "I'm Premier Proximus now." Zalilak hits him with a cold line. He says, "False confidence from a false premier. It takes more than a chair to make one premier, usurper." Proximus replies, "If my ascension to this throne requires your blood to spill upon it, so be it." So remember, when we first met Proximus, Zalilak had approached him about hunting down Solila and Darak. We learned in that conversation that they both fought each other before, and Zalilak had won. That's what led to Proximus being imprisoned in a healing tank in a state where he lost most of his body. He basically kind of became Darth Vader, mostly mechanical parts and a suit that keeps him alive. We have yet to see how that fight went down, but we're going to see this one. Zalilak points out to Proximus that it didn't seem like he had a real plan to rule, which is a very astute observation because Proximus taking the throne did come across as impulsive. He knew Zalilak wasn't here and he just took advantage of the opportunity. He tells Proximus that he doesn't have the patience to rule. He says, "You were content in your tank. that option is not yet lost. I know I will need you with what is to come. I can offer you the peace of returning there. Well, what's it going to be? Proximus responds by immediately firing his bow at Zelilac, and we witness the power Zerta Trion has given Zelilac. He freaking eats the blow. Dude just blocks the attack with his hand and grips that energy into his hands and says, pathetic. Proximus is completely shocked, and we should be too, because in Proximus's fight with Springer, we saw his bow was powerful enough to hurt Springer. The attack didn't even phase Zelilac. He says, although it took far more effort, was I not the first who defeated you? I've survived the caverns of Ra and emerged to be bathed in Zerta's light. My might grows while yours is diminished. He grips Proximus, ripping off his helmet, then grips his head and says, at my command, hear Zerta. Zelilac has put Proximus into some genjutsu. After Proximus comes out of it, he tells Zelilac that he has learned the truth about the sacred text being a lie, and he is now free. He says, I am yours to command as you are Zerta's. Now I'm just theorizing here based on what I'm seeing, but it seems like Proximus has become a slave to Zerta's power, like his free will has been taken away from him. Zelilac meets Ultim, who's pissing in his boots right now. Proximus introduces him and informs Zelilac that he's a brave boy. Zelilac tells Ultim that he has nothing to fear because they're all in a path to unity now. He officially reclaims his throne and orders one of his subjects to ready the troops at once because they will strike Agorria at dawn. Meanwhile, at Agorria, Solila tells Minister Dulin that she's learned through their interaction that fighting won't achieve unity, and she offers to stay and learn the Agorian's ways and hopes to persuade him to unify diplomatically. Dulin tells her that after all she's done, why would he allow her to stay without punishment? Solila hits him with, have I not convincingly demonstrated that you couldn't remove me against my will if you tried? And Darak chimes in smiling, saying she has a point. Dulin has no response because she's right. In the last Void Rivals video focusing on them, she dominated every soldier he threw at her. Dulin leaves and Solila and Darak catch up. Solila gives Darak Handroid back, telling him he served her well. Darak tries to tell her to keep him and she refuses because he talks too much. I'm glad that these two are still on the same side. Suddenly, alerts are going off everywhere. They head outside. Hot Rod meets Solila, and she's shocked to see that there are two Transformers now. And they all see why the alerts are going off. A squadron of Zertonian jets above are attacking Agorria. It's all out war. Darak gets in his jump jet and gathers his squadron he leads. Remember, Darak is the greatest pilot in Agorria, so it's no surprise that he has a squadron he commands. Now, just like Elander had asked Darak how the Zertonians got the information on Energon before Agorria, and we didn't see what his answer to that question was, Dulin, monitoring the battle from the control room, is shocked to see this because he thought the Zertonians were still scrounging for resources. So he asked Darak over comms how the Zertonians were able to stage this attack, and if they possibly got access to Energon before them. Darak avoids answering. Now, we finally see Hot Rod and Springer fighting side by side, and I've been waiting for this for so long. Now, this is easy work for them. So Hot Rod comes across as enjoying it because the Zertonians are not a real threat to them. So he tells Springer that he would like to stop this conflict between Agorians and Zertonians, but he doesn't want to hurt anyone in the process. Springer agrees. Out of nowhere, a major blast is fired at them. Luckily, Springer pushed Hot Rod out of the blast range. They see the Zertonians have an armada of their own freaking Star Destroyers. Like, what the hell? I do like the fact that they're shaped like pyramids. Now, they unleash their troops, a massive wave of their troops, into Agorria, with Proximus leading them. He says, for Zertonia, for unity, Agorria must fall. Springer says, man, not this guy again. I told you all this issue was going to be insane. I really don't know what Zerta Trion is doing, because how is this going to bring unity? That's the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Comment below what you think is going on with Zerta. Subscribe to the channel, about 76% of you haven't. If you're listening to this on Spotify, make sure you hit that follow button. Other than that, have an awesome day, take care, and always remember every day to go beyond.